Hey Calien-Knights, welcome back to a Raikuzin Games video. In today's episode, we will be looking at two of the most commonly asked questions that I've seen in the game, which are, do I still use 5-star runes and do I keep this rune? I've seen it everywhere really, you know, Facebooks, in chat, DMs towards me as well. So I thought I'd tackle that question all in one video, and hopefully it gives you insight into how I approach it. And with the rune crafting event going on right now, hopefully that will help you make better decisions on what to craft, what not to craft. You know, as a wise man once said, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, and teach him to fish, and he'll start his own fishing company.
Bubblegum shrimp. It's a household name.
Something like that. Let's go. So why is understanding runes so important? Firstly, because half of the game is runes. In a gacha game where nat 5s are more easily obtainable than other gachas, when you hit endgame, it's going to be a battle of rune quality more so than just monsters. So resource management is probably one of the most important skills that you should develop as a player, especially if you're a free-to-play or if you're a sperm... Sorry. If you're a sperm whale as opposed to a blue whale who have unlimited power.
I make my third wish. I wish to be
given all the rune packs.
All right, your wish is my command.
Is mine to command, to control.
So I briefly touched on it on my 113 million Calien-Knights video that I posted a couple of weeks ago, but I thought I'd post this video to go more in depth on rune management. So the first main question is, should I keep this rune? So my answer is, it depends on where you are in the game. So if you're early game, 5-star runes are perfectly acceptable, but only upgrade them to say level 12. Don't do it to level 15 because it's probably a waste of Calien-Knights. But as you progress, you'll start collecting 6-star runes, and for slots 2, 4, and 6, you would be more happy to upgrade them to level 15 if they're 6-star. Now let's say you just got a 6-star rune, say purple, and you're trying to assess whether to keep, sell, or upgrade and things like that, right? So the first thing you do is you look at the main stat, and what does that main stat fit into? What role is it going to be used for? So there are various roles in the game. So for example, your damage dealer, your support unit, so your tank, your crowd control, and maybe your energy booster, and then there's subcategories underneath that as well. So after you look at your main stat, you look at your subs and say, okay, so does the main stat and the substat correspond to a role that I want to use this rune for? So for example, if it was a damage dealer with the main stat being attack percentage, you would want the subs to be, say, crit rate, crit damage, and maybe speed. Okay, let's say it was a HP rune for a support type unit. So you would say, okay, so it's HP percent in main stat, the subs are defense percentage, speed, maybe some resistance, maybe some hit, depending on if they have some debuffs. And you know, you would do that to see what role does this rune support, and you would then upgrade if it looks good. Now if it's full of flats, you might not want to gamble on that because, you know, you might want to save your Calien-Knights instead because you can foresee that it doesn't roll well. So what I normally do is I go up to either +3 or +6 so that I can see how it lands, and then I try to predict what's the best case scenario after reaching +6. So I've created an infograph because, you know, I'm infograph man, and basically this shows you how a substat can roll depending on what rune it is. So on the top row you've got you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 star runes. So let's just take the speed sub. You can see that for a 6-star roll, there's a chance for a speed substat to roll between 4 and 6. So for HP, it's between 5 and 8, same with attack and defense. So what I can do is, after reaching +6 on the rune, I know that if it's a legendary rune, there's 2 more increases, right, up to 12. So then I would say, okay, so with 2 more rolls for speed, that's another +12 which is the best outcome. Am I willing to gamble for that? If so, then I would keep increasing that rune level to +12, and if not, then I might consider selling. And of course, it's not just exclusive to speed. I might do that for HP, attack, defense, crit rate, crit damage, etc, etc. So the only exception to this is if it was a legendary rune and all 4 upgrades went to one single stat, whether it be flat, whether it be percentage, whatever it is, right? If that was the case, then what you could do is you could lock the other subs and then refine that one sub, because I know that all 4 rolls are going to go into whatever that one sub is. And if you happen to land a speed sub, that speed sub could be upwards, say 21 or more or something like that, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous for a rune. Okay, so the next question is, do I still use 5-star runes? Short answer is yes. For slots 1, 3, 5, 5-star runes are perfectly acceptable. So you can see here, a 5-star rune has potential to roll anywhere between 4 and 7% on HP, attack, and defense. So imagine you roll 4 times 7 on a legendary slot 1, 3, or 5 rune. That could be pretty cool. With speed, it's anywhere between 3 and 5 speed rolls, which can be also pretty good as well. And the reason slot 246 needs to be 6-star is because of that main stat. The difference between a 5-star rune and a 6-star rune on the main stat, it can be quite substantial, whereas on slots 1, 3, 5, because the main stat is always going to be flat, then it doesn't really matter as much, right? On slots 1, 3, 5, you're actually playing it for the sub and to complete the set instead of for the main stats. So this is a Desperation rune, 5-star. I think it was a 3rd slot. You can see that it's got an innate of 6%, 11 speed, 12 defense, 11 crit rate, and attack. So it's pretty decent, right? Like, it's nothing game changing, but you could use this. So next we have a Berserk rune, which is a rare. So with rares you only get 2 upgrades, don't forget. It has an innate speed of 3. The subs are crit damage, crit rate, attack. So that tells you that it's also another damage dealer build. It's a slot 1. So I'm going to use this to complete a Berserk set and give it some crit rate boost subs and attack subs, right? The next rune is a Conflict rune, slot 3, Heroic also. So Heroic has 3 upgrades. It's gone pretty well into HP and speed. So you can see that it's a well-rounded rune for a support unit because it has high HP, speed. It could be maybe like a tankier DPS unit, damage dealer, because it has that crit rate and the speed as well. And being a Conflict rune, it's going to support other damage dealers as well. This one's a 5-star legendary Conflict rune, slot 3. It's pretty nice, right? So it's got +20 in attack, +19 in speed, and some crit damage. So another damage dealer rune. I guess I have just damage dealer runes. But look, with that speed, I'm sure you can put it on anything that you want. Okay, so the exception to only playing 6 stars for 246 is a slot 2 speed. You notice that speed is actually a flat stat instead of percentage like everything else. On my left hand side I have a Blessing rune that's a 5-star max at level 15. So you can see that it only goes up to 39 plus speed compared to a 6-star rune which goes up to 42 speed. Now that's a 3 speed difference. Within PvE, 3 speed isn't going to make much of a difference, right? So with your runes and your account, you should constantly be getting better. Which means there's a cap where you need to be at a level to complete certain PvE content. Once you're over that, everything else is just speed running. But when it comes to PvP, everyone else is also getting better with you, either faster than you or slower than you. So with that in mind, any increment of speed can actually impact the rest of the fight. So when it comes to PvP, you probably prefer that your speed be 6-star. With PvE, you're pretty happy to have a 5-star rune, depending on the subs of course. I might even extend that to hit as well. I don't really play hit 6 slot, but if I did, I would be okay with a 5-star hit rune if it had really good subs and HP and speed and things like that. So hopefully that answers the 2 of the most commonly asked questions in regards to runes. I thought I'd just make a video because I just see it everywhere. And if you have any questions of your own, leave it in the comments below. And if there's enough response, I might make a video on it. Otherwise, you can actually find me on my Discord channel. I've created a channel just to, you know, maybe create community, I guess, a guild outside of the game, I guess, because, you know, a lot of people are probably from different servers. So you can find the link for that on the descriptions below. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment. So my question for you on this video is, what do you think of the rune event? I heard somewhere that it might actually become a recurrent event. You know, what do you guys feel about that? And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I've been producing a lot of helpful contents like my, you know, my infographics and videos like this. I see questions everywhere like, how do I make a Colossus team? I'm like, whoa, check out this. Is there really a difference in selling prices of runes? And I'm like, okay, well, check out that. So if you haven't done so already, do it. And I will see you next time, guys. Peace out. Bye.